Are you dreaming about writing a book? Maybe you're dreaming about writing a book, but you're not sure how to start. Or maybe you just feel like you don't have the time to get it done. It could be that you've started on your book, but you can't get it across the finish line and you don't really know about the resources to help you. You're looking for some resources to help you get across the finish line. I bet some of you out there are thinking, I want to write a book because I have a purpose. I have a calling, and this is part of what I need to do. I get it because I've been there. I'm Cathy Fyock, the business book strategist, and since January of 2014, I have been the business book strategist. I've been working with individuals just like you who want to write a book as a business growth strategy. This has been the most fun I have ever had in my life, and I've never really experienced so much success either. So I'd like to just tell you a little bit about what I do, why I do it, how I do it, and see if I can answer some of your questions. I have, in the time that I've started my business since January of 2014, I've helped more than 150 professionals become published authors. That is my greatest sense of achievement, is knowing that I have helped people along their way to help them achieve one of their bucket list dreams, help them grow their businesses, help them move their career forward. I got my start. I've been a member of the National Speakers Association now for over 31 years, but it happened with my chapter back in the spring of 2013 when my chapter president called me and said, Cathy, we heard a rumor that you wrote your book in less than 6 weeks. And I said, well, yes, actually, I wrote 4 of my 5 books in less than 6 weeks. And he said, that is great. He said, do you have a process? And I thought, wow, that's such an interesting question. Do I have a process? Yes, I guess I do have a process. He said, would you be willing to give a program for our chapter about your process for writing your book? I said, oh, I would love to. He said, but before you say yes, we have a couple of our chapter members who are working on their books. Would you be willing to coach them using your process and then give a report to the chapter? And I said, okay, you had me at Give a Program. I'm totally in. I know this works for me. I'm curious, does it work for anybody else? So I started working with these 2 women who were friends of mine. And they said, Cathy, have you ever thought about becoming a book coach? And I said, no. Is there such a thing? Is there a need? And they said, oh, yeah, there are a lot of people who want to write a book, know they need a book for their businesses, a lot of speakers in particular, and yet they don't know how to start, or they get started, they get stuck. And I thought, wow, very, very interesting. So I gave my program for the chapter. And once again, being a member for so many years, so many of my friends came up to me and said, Cathy, have you ever thought about becoming a book coach? And I thought, okay, this is a sign from the heavens that this is what I need to do. So that was in the spring of 2013, and by January, I had put my business plan together and launched my new business as a book coach. I love what I do. Most of my clients are members of the National Speakers Association. It's a group that I definitely identify with, but not all of my clients are members, although many of them become members because many of them do want to speak and write. But many of my clients are coaches, consultants, speakers, professionals who want to write about their area of expertise. They want to write a nonfiction book around their knowledge, their intellectual property. So that is what I do. Now, in terms of my coaching process, let me take you through a little bit of the structure that I have there, what my process is. I've found over the years, I've modified the process, I have refined the process, so it's not exactly the same as when I started, but my most effective strategy is to have a one-on-one coaching agreement with you. There is a whole package of services, and I'd like to talk about what some of those package services are. First of all, we start with a strategy session. We identify the goals for your book and how it aligns with the goals for your business. Most important that you write the right book. So we align the strategy for your book with the strategy for your business. We identify things like the thesis statement for your book, the targeted reader, which should be your targeted client. We talk about the structure for the book. What are some of your clients' most pressing questions? What is the direction that you want your business to go? I've often said that a book will take you in the direction of your dreams as long as you write the book to take your career in that direction. So it's important that you write the right book. So that's why it's so important that we begin with a strategy session. This is generally between 2 and 3 hours long. We generally do this via Zoom unless you're here in Louisville, Kentucky, and then we meet face-to-face. Next, we have coaching sessions via Zoom, usually about once a week to get started. It works out to be about every other week or every third week after a while, because let's face it, writing a book takes a lot of time. You don't want to be talking to your book coach if you are successfully writing and making progress. So we schedule the check-ins so that they're appropriate for you and your level of need. If you need ongoing accountability, we make that work for you. It's whatever you need to get your book done. These one-on-one packages are either for a 6-month period or a 1-year period, depending upon your budget and your sense of urgency about how important this book is to get it done, either in 6 months or within a year. Beyond the one-on-one sessions, I have group coaching sessions where we have celebrations of what you've achieved. It's great to be in community with other authors who get you, who understand the struggle, who can celebrate with you. During our calls, we also discuss common issues, challenges that you're facing, because what's great is, well, I can answer those questions for you. It's great to hear from other people who may have other strategies that are better aligned with you, your lifestyle, your motivations, and so on. We also always do writing exercises on our calls. Once you are about 80% complete with your manuscript, you can move into my author mastermind group, where here we focus on publishing and selling your book. So the focus here is on how we get more and more readers, how we grow our businesses, how we achieve the goals that we had set out in that initial strategy session. There are a number of other things that come with your the package of services. One is that you get copies of all of my books, On Your Mark, Blog to Book, and my most recent, The Speaker Author. You'll also get a magic button that says, Ask Me About My Book, and this will help you generate some magic around getting your book out there in the world. There are also bonus workshops, master classes, all kinds of activities to ensure that you reach your goal. For example, several times a year I have a word count challenge, and I give prizes, so that there's lots of different things that will serve you. I also have an online program for On Your Mark, which gives you all the basics that you need for how do you write your book in 6 weeks. Now, you may be thinking, well, this is great, but why you, Cathy? There's probably other book coaches out there. Yeah, and there are. There are other, I thought for a while I was the only one, but there are other book coaches. So let me tell you why I'm a little bit different and what my unique proposition is as a book coach. First of all, I don't like to write, which is kind of interesting. For somebody who's now written 9 books and somebody who is a book coach, I really don't like to write. It's just painful for me. It's very painful. So I get it. If you are one of these people who would rather be speaking than writing, if you would rather be consulting or coaching than writing, I totally get you. Uh, we want to make this easier for you. So I'm all about strategies that will help you in moving you forward. Um, Here's another way I'm a little bit different. We talk a lot about the strategy on the front end because we want you to write the right book. We want you to write the book that's going to highlight your thought leadership, that's going to give you the visibility, the credibility that you need. And it's a certain kind of a book, and we want to make sure it's the right book. And I'm all about helping you make that distinction. Also, as an author, I have used my book to generate revenue, to grow my business. So I get it. If that is your purpose, if that is your goal, I've been there, I've done that. I get you. And finally, I've got a really great track record. I have 150 plus professionals who've become published authors, and I encourage you to visit my Hall of Fame on my website at cathyfyock.com and hear some of the testimonials, see some of the books, see the books on Amazon that my authors have written. I'm so proud of them. Another thing that makes me a little bit different is I really do believe in community. I believe it's important for us as authors to be in community with other authors. So I have developed a number of different strategies to link you with one another so that you're in on the group coaching calls together, you're discussing problems together, but you're also supporting one another. We're helping each other define and refine our launch plans. We're on each other's launch teams, and we are there to help our fellow authors become successful. Many of my authors have developed lifelong friendships, and it's really, really great to see. And maybe the biggest reason that I'm a little bit different than your garden book coach, garden variety book coach, is that I really am on purpose. And I work with authors who are on purpose. I'm all about why we do what we do. I'm all about the big why. I feel that we as authors are changing the world one word at a time. And we do that as speakers, we do that as authors, we do that in our consulting and coaching practices. And I get it. And I'm on purpose. And I believe that we have the power to do such good together. In fact, what I'd like to share with you is my writer's pledge. It's something I developed with my fellow authors, and we developed this together. I said I want to develop a pledge that we can say together, and we say this at the beginning of all of our coaching calls together, and I'd like to share it with you here. Feel free to say it along with me. I pledge that I will use my power to make today a fantastic day. I will block writing time on my calendar, and I will honor that time commitment and hold it as sacred creative time. I pledge I will not allow my negative voice to guide my thinking or stop my creative process. I will surround myself with people who love me and support my writing. I pledge to tell my story, to share my experiences with authenticity and without apology. I know that in telling my story, I can provide others with the gifts of hope, wisdom, and joy. I pledge that I will continue to work so that I gain clarity and focus for my readers, audiences, and clients. Then I can continue to make the world a better place, one word at a time. I hope that you are anxious to make the world a better place, one word at a time. And if you are that person, I would love to work with you. I hope you'll connect with me. If you will send me an email, Cathy@cathyfyock.com, or visit my website. Send me an email, though, and let me know that you're interested in scheduling a strategy session. There is no obligation. We will talk about you, your book, your writing, and we'll see if it makes sense for us to discuss a working relationship. I am really, really excited about you, your book, and your journey, because I do believe together we can change the world one word at a time. Thanks for joining me. I'm Cathy Fyock, the Business Book Strategist.